She yelled, "I'm going to tell everyone you hit me if you try to leave," during a fight. I said nothing, I just turned on my phone and placed it on the table. The way her story changed when she realized it was recording. I, 28 male, am sitting in my buddy's guest room right now, still processing everything that went down 48 hours ago. My hands are finally steady enough to type this out. Been with Melissa, 26, for almost 3 years. Moved in together after 1 year. Looking back, the red flags were there from the start. The constant need for validation, the jealousy over female coworkers, the way she'd twist every argument to make herself the victim. But love makes you blind, right? Things got progressively worse over the last 6 months. She quit her job at a marketing firm, claiming her boss was targeting her. Found out later, she was written up for attendance issues. Started demanding access to all my social media passwords. Would blow up my phone if I didn't respond to texts within 5 minutes. Classic controlling behavior that I kept rationalizing. The breaking point came 2 days ago. I'd finally had enough after she screamed at me for an hour because a female cashier smiled at me too long at the grocery store. When we got home, I told her calmly that this wasn't working and I wanted to end the relationship. That's when she went nuclear. Started throwing things, nothing at me directly, but dishes against the wall, picture frames on the floor. Then came the threats. You can't leave me. I'll tell everyone what you did. What I did. Melissa, I haven't done anything. Oh really? Because I have bruises from where you grabbed me last week. For context, she had bruised her arm moving furniture. I wasn't even home when it happened. That's not true and you know it. Doesn't matter what's true. Everyone will believe me. I'll post it everywhere. Facebook, Instagram. I'll call your work, your family. You'll be ruined. That's when something in me just switched off emotionally. Like watching myself from outside my body. Very calmly, I pulled out my phone, started recording video, and placed it on the coffee table facing us. The transformation was instant. What? What are you doing? Her voice completely changed, just making sure we're both being honest here. Turn that off. Why? You were just telling me about these bruises I supposedly gave you. Please, continue. She stared at the phone, then at me, then back at the phone. You could literally see the gears turning. I didn't mean. I'm just upset. You're leaving me and I'm emotional. So you're saying I didn't hurt you? Stop recording. Simple question, Melissa. Did I ever lay a hand on you? Long pause. Then quietly. No. Have I ever hit you, pushed you, or physically hurt you in any way? No. But you're emotionally abusive. This recording right now is abuse. Ending a relationship isn't abuse. Threatening to falsely accuse someone of domestic violence is. She tried to grab the phone. I picked it up and kept recording. I'm going to pack a bag and stay with Trevor tonight. When I come back tomorrow for the rest of my things, I'd appreciate if you weren't here. This is my apartment too. The lease is in my name only. You're not on it. You have 30 days to find a new place. Left that night with just clothes and toiletries. Sent the video to my email, backed it up to 3 different cloud services, and made sure Trevor had a copy too. Also texted my landlord that my ex would be moving out within 30 days and to let me know if there were any issues. Got about 50 texts from her that night, ranging from "I'm sorry baby, please come back," to "You're a psychopath for recording me," to "I'll make you pay for this." Screenshot everything. Muted her number. Trying to figure out next steps. Update 1. Wow, this blew up. Thanks for all the support and advice, especially those who told me to get a lawyer. You are absolutely right. So here's what happened this week. First, I did go back the next day with Trevor and his brother, both big dudes, to get my important stuff. Documents, laptop, work clothes. Melissa was there, crying and trying to hug me. When that didn't work, she switched to anger, then back to tears. The whole emotional manipulation playbook. I didn't engage, just packed while Trevor recorded everything on his phone, with her knowledge, announced it as soon as we walked in. She kept saying things like "How can you do this to me?" and 3 years meant nothing. But notably, she never once denied the threat she made, just kept trying to minimize it as being emotional. That night, the social media campaign started. She posted this long, vague story about surviving emotional abuse and finally finding her voice. Didn't name me directly, but posted photos of us with my face scratched out. Real mature. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember how she threatened to call my work? Well, she did. Except she didn't anticipate that I'd already given HR a heads up. Sent them an email the morning after the incident with a brief explanation and the video attached. My boss was incredibly supportive. So when Melissa called, claiming I was dangerous and shouldn't be around female coworkers, HR was prepared. They took her information, thanked her for her concern, and immediately forwarded everything to legal. Then came the restraining order attempt. She actually tried to file one against me, claiming emotional abuse and that she feared for her safety. The audacity, right? This is where hiring a lawyer paid off. We counterfiled for a protective order based on her threats, harassment, and attempts to contact my employer. My lawyer also sent her a formal cease and desist letter regarding any further contact with my work, family, or social media posts implying domestic violence. The hearing was yesterday. I'll never forget the judge's face when my lawyer played the recording. Melissa tried to claim I set her up and manipulated her into saying those things. The judge asked her point blank, "Did you threaten to falsely accuse him of domestic violence?" She broke down crying and said she didn't mean it that way. Judge wasn't having it. Denied her restraining order, granted mine. She can't contact me, my work, or post about me online. She has to stay 100 yards away from my residence and workplace. But the real kicker. My company's legal team is considering pursuing charges for her calling my workplace with false allegations. Turns out they take that stuff very seriously. She's got 23 more days to get out of my apartment, already getting texts from her friends calling me heartless. They seem to have only heard her version where I abandoned her and turned everyone against her. Amazing how she left out the whole false accusation threat part. Update: 2 things escalated exactly as you all predicted. First, the flying monkeys. Her friends kept harassing me despite the protective order explicitly stating she couldn't have others contact me on her behalf. My lawyer sent cease and desist letters to the 3 worst offenders. 2 backed off immediately. The third, her best friend Natalie, decided to show up at my work. Security had been briefed, thank God for a competent HR department, and she was escorted out before she could cause a scene. She screamed about me ruining Melissa's life while being led away. This was captured on security cameras and added to our growing file. Then came the apartment situation. With 1 week left on her 30-day notice, I get a call from my landlord. Melissa had called him crying, claiming I illegally evicted her and that she had tenant rights. She demanded he change the locks to keep me out. Landlord laughed and told her she wasn't on the lease. He had my written notice about her departure and suggested she start packing. He also informed me she'd been telling other tenants I was abusive and trying to get them to write statements supporting her. 5 days before she had to be out, I went by with Trevor to check on things. Still my apartment after all. The place was trashed. Holes in walls, my gaming console smashed, photo albums destroyed. She'd cut up my work clothes that I hadn't taken. The petty destruction was unreal. We documented everything with photos and video. Called the police for a report. When the officer arrived, guess who suddenly appeared? Melissa with her phone out recording and crying about me harassing her in her home. Officer asked for the lease. She couldn't produce one. He asked when she was moving out. She claimed she had rights and I couldn't force her to leave. Officer explained that without a lease and with proper notice given, she needed to vacate by the date specified or face formal eviction proceedings. The mask slipped completely. She went from crying victim to screaming banshee in seconds. Called me every name in the book, threatened to make sure I never dated again, and said she'd destroy me for humiliating her. All while the officer's body cam was recording. She was given a warning about the property damage and told to vacate on time or be forcibly removed. The officer also noted the protective order and warned her that her current behavior was violating it. 2 days before move-out, my lawyer hit her with a lawsuit. Property damage, defamation, for the workplace calls and false allegations, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The total came to about $15,000 including my legal fees, damaged property, and the security deposit I'd surely lose. Suddenly, her tune changed. Got a tearful voicemail through my lawyer begging to work things out. Said she was going through a tough time and wasn't herself. Classic. Move-out day arrived. She wasn't there, but her dad was. Decent guy actually. Apologized for his daughter's behavior. Said he was shocked and disappointed. Apparently, she'd hidden the worst of it from her family. But the lawsuit paperwork opened their eyes. He did a walkthrough with me and the landlord, took responsibility for the damages, and wrote a check on the spot for $5,000 as a good faith partial payment, with a promise to handle the rest. Found out later that her parents made her move back home and get therapy, as a condition of them helping with the lawsuit. Final update. Time for the conclusion to this saga. The lawsuit settled out of court last month. Her parents agreed to pay the full amount I was asking for in exchange for me signing an NDA about the specific settlement terms. I can still talk about what happened, just not the exact financial details. Let's just say I was made whole and then some. Melissa had to sign an agreement acknowledging her threats were false, that I never abused her in any way, and that she would not make any further statements suggesting otherwise. She also had to delete all social media posts about our relationship and issue a retraction to anyone she'd told her false version to. The workplace situation resolved beautifully. My company didn't pursue criminal charges. Her parents' lawyer negotiated that as part of the settlement. But the incident is on record. HR told me they've actually used my case as an example in their training about why they take these situations seriously. Found out through mutual acquaintances that Melissa's life pretty much imploded. She lost most of her friend group when the truth came out. Natalie, the friend who showed up at my work, was apparently mortified when she learned about the false accusation threat. Sent me an apology through my lawyer, said she had no idea and felt used. Her parents are making her attend therapy twice a week and she's working retail while living at home. Not exactly the independent girl boss lifestyle she was portraying on Instagram. The funniest part? She tried dating again about a month after everything settled. The guy Googled her name, found some of the court documents that are public record, and noped out after the first date. Word travels fast in our mid-sized city. As for me, therapy has been helpful. Not gonna lie, this whole experience messed with my head. The idea that someone I loved and trusted could threaten to destroy my life with false accusations just because I wanted to leave. That's some heavy stuff to process. But I'm doing better. Started dating again recently, very cautiously. I'm upfront about what happened, within NDA limits, because I'd rather filter out anyone who has issues with me protecting myself legally. The recording saved my life, basically. Without it, I could be in jail right now. Jobless, friendless, and branded as an abuser. All because I wanted to end an unhealthy relationship. To anyone in a similar situation, document everything. The moment someone threatens false accusations, they've shown you who they are. Believe them. Protect yourself. And get out. Thanks to everyone who followed this story and offered support. Your comments helped me realize I wasn't crazy for taking this seriously. Oh, and yes, I now record any serious relationship conversation. Not secretly, but openly. If someone has a problem with accountability, they're not someone I need to be with. Stay safe out there.